I think the programs that we create should do two things. They should show us how badly we are living and how good we can be. So the truth about hitting is going to accomplish number one. I'm going to talk about a few of these things today. I'm going to talk about the evil bat companies, bad hitting training, training your eyes, and awesome batting practice. But in the truth about hitting, we're going to talk about everything that's wrong, how bad we are training for hitting, how bad we're thinking about hitting, how bad the coaches that are training hitting are instructing our hitters, even our batting practice, how we're training hitters to be swingers and not hitters. And then we're also going to show you ways that we can be better. So like I said, our programs, we take a philosophy that our program should expose how bad we've been training and also show us how good we can be if we do the right training. So I want to talk to you about this bat. This is one of my most prized possessions. It's 90 years old. It's my grandfather's bat. It's over 90 years old, and he was given it to him when he was 13 years old, and he used it until he stopped playing baseball at like 19, 20 years. When he was 19 or 20 years old. This is the only bat he's ever had. And it's actually in remarkable shape for a bat that was used for like 5 or 6 years. Me and my brother used to actually hit with it a little bit before we realized that maybe we shouldn't hit with this thing or break it. But you know, for guys who weren't great hitters, we could not dent this thing. So it's nearly 100 years old. It's the only bat he ever used. That's interesting, because in today's world, we don't have a new bat with like every season. Kids freak out. I'll never forget, at the Yogi Berra Museum, Louisville Slugger came in and did this, gave like this breakdown of how a bat's made. Like there's a big chunk of wood, then it gets to here, to here, to here, and it goes through like the phases of how they make a bat. And they had Yogi's bat there, and I picked up Yogi's bat, and it felt like a tree trunk. And I said to him, this only proves to me that God makes the hitters, because here he was, 3 inches shorter than me, 30 pounds lighter than me, and I don't feel like I could swing this bat. I don't feel like all the training in the world could swing this bat. And I said, how did you swing a bat that was so heavy? You know what he said to me? He said, that's the bat they gave me my first year in the minors, and so I just used it. Could you imagine that today? Could you imagine you handing a kid a bat and say, this is the bat that you go hit with? And then just go, okay, and go hit with it. Right? But Yogi was a hitter. Yogi was a trainer. He's like, okay, I'll just hit with this thing. So it just goes to show, Ted Williams says the Indian, not the arrow. But I want to expose something about the evil bat companies. Now, they hate me already. I get emails from those guys all the time, kind of with all, I don't know if they're threats, but they're not nice. So let me expose something about the evil bat companies. It's the catalog I just got with the new bats in it. Metal bat manufacturers continue to innovate in the BB Core era. You mean in the era that you guys had to regulate the effectiveness of a bat because you were really kind of putting like a weapon in the hands of hitters? So that era. So that's one thing. I want to point out something. You notice anything about the colors of the bats? Really bright and yellow and flashy, and a lot of yellow and red in these bats. Well, I did a little homework. I have some experience in this area of digging into things and research, and here's what I found out. The bat companies have hired the very same type of advertising agencies that create the logos for fast food restaurants. So, you know, the restaurants that try and induce us into thinking that the food that they serve is good, but we all know what really happens to that food. Well, guess what? Do you see any similarities here? Are you seeing any similarities in the colors of the logos of fast food companies and bat manufacturers? Looks like the bat companies are using the very same logos the fast food companies use us to get to eat bad food to get to sell a $400 bat every year. I'll just leave that one. I'll give you some time to think about that one. So here's the thing, bad hitting training. So we talk about evil bat companies, bad hitting training. Ted Williams says, his most famous quote is, the key to hitting, let me back up, the key to hitting is to get a good pitch to hit. The most interesting word of that quote for me is get. It's not swinging a good pitch, it's not hit a good pitch, it's get a good pitch to hit. So I break down the pitch into 2 phases. This is the getting part, and this is the swinging hitting part, right? Where a hitter has to make a decision at this point whether he's going to swing or not swing. So this part of it, they're kind of going through stride, get ready. This is getting, and this is not. Is your hitting training only training you for this phase of it? Are you taking swing after swing after swing after swing after swing? Are you falling into the swing repetition, or the swing scam and the repetition scam, where coaches will say, get your swings in, get your T-work in, get all this stuff in, but what we're training the mind to do is swing, 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 swing. But in a game, what do coaches expect? Discipline, patience, and a good eye. But in training, they train swing, 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 swing. I did an informal survey of hitting coaches. No hitting coaches said that you should take less than 50 swings per day. Some said 200, but nobody said less than 50. Even with that low 50 number, it's still kind of absurd that we're training kids we're training their brains to swing and swing and swing and swing and swing and swing and swing, but in a game, we expect them to be different. So, you might want to ask yourself questions. Did you just go to a hitting lesson, or did you really just go to a swinging lesson? So a hitting coach's job is not to make you feel good. What a lot of batting practice does is to make you good. Not to make you feel good, but to make you good. Training your eyes. The only limiting variable of a hitter is their eye. We're going to talk about in The Truth About Hitting how to train your eyes, and also how to set up an awesome batting practice. It's not only easy, effective, and fun, but also like moves, and also makes hitters good. Is designed to make hitters good, not just have hitters get in mindless swings and repetitions that don't match up with what we're asking from them in the game. Okay, let's review. Back pumpings are evil. Most hitting training is bad. You need to train your eyes. We're going to teach you how to do that in The Truth About Hitting, and we're going to teach you how to do awesome batting practice.